Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 111th episode of the longest tenured Denver Nuggets spin-off podcast in the world. Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets' Serbian Corner. My name is Miroslav, and before we begin, please let me remind you to like the video on YouTube, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the DNVR Sports YouTube channel. We're trying to get the channel to 100,000 subscribers, which will be super awesome. You can also subscribe to the DNVR Nuggets podcast channel because the audio version is perfect for your commute or to make your office/home office time more bearable. If you want to support the show more directly, you can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/MiroslavCuk, just like my Seco tier supporters Peter Plummer and Daniel Lynch. We made it! After 5 long months, we had a Nuggets game to watch. Granted, it was just a prep game in Abu Dhabi, but a game against the reigning champions Boston Celtics, no less. I'm so excited to talk about the game that I'll just rush my today's panel in so we can jump right to it. First, a GameShow champion, one of the most engaging Nuggets season ticket holders, and a great Twitter follow. It's Tatiana. Welcome back to the show, Tatiana.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's so much fun to do these games.
Yeah, well, you expected to come back as a champion here. So tell me, did you get a chance to watch some of the recent shows and see the games starting to ramp up in difficulty?
No, I actually haven't had any chance to watch it. I need to catch up. I've been traveling a lot and stuff, so I haven't had the chance, but I know it's just difficult as it gets for the championship title.
I have to be honest, that might actually be a good strategy for you because you're not scared as hell right now. Because I feel like last week I was pretty nasty. But don't worry, it's going to be easier this time around. I hope so.
I hope so too.
Okay, next, another game show champion. He is a teacher who likes to learn from his students. He is a writer and a reader. He is also an enjoyer of good motion pictures, but most importantly, a swell fellow and the president of Nuggets Nebraska fan club. It's Kyle Simonsen. Welcome back, Kyle.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How we doing?
Pretty good. We talked just before the show. We both had some workouts and some, good cold showers before the show, so we should be energized. And by the way, do you do cold showers?
Yeah, especially when you're hot after a workout, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Or when my wife and kids use all the hot water. So yeah, for sure. But
that's true.
That's not my choice. That's not my choice. But yeah,
that's true. I actually only do involuntary cold showers. I'm not as tough as the other guys, but it is what it is. Okay, last and least, I guess he still needs to become a game show champion. But he is a perfect example of how far being my friend can take you. Not very far, obviously. He is a professional bowler and a co-host of the Four Corners Denver Nuggets podcast. It's Raymond Hackshaw. Welcome back, Ray.
Well done, friend.
Oh, you see, guys, this is how you get straight into the semifinals. So, Ray, tell me. You just recorded the new episode of Four Corners with Citi Fazio. I thought it was an excellent one. Do you want to share a few details about it?
Yeah, you're always happy to have him on. He is also getting into his own sort of analysis for next draft. If you're interested in that, always getting on that early. But yeah, we talked about our thoughts about Media Day, about expectations and takeaways from the training camp, bits and pieces that we get from that, and what we kind of expect going into the preseason, which has been, I don't know, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm back. I'm home. We made it.
That sounds great. And guys, we've all seen yesterday's game. Yes, it was super early Denver time. It was almost prime time here in Serbia. But I needed to watch it twice just to inhale as many impressions as I could. And let's just start with your main takeaways from this game. You can do it team-wise or player-wise, however you want to do it. Let's start with Tatiana. What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's game?
Yeah, I thought it was so fun to see the starters and finally see how Russ is with the rest of the team. And I just think he fit in so well. He is just like taking our bench to another level that we haven't seen, I feel like, since the Jokic era. So I just was super excited. Of course we lost the game, but I don't think it really mattered that much because we got to see exactly what we needed to see from our starters. Yeah, I'm so excited, and I thought it was so fun.
When I saw how many minutes Jalen Pickett and Zeke Nagy got in the second half, it was clear as day that Mike Malone wasn't interested in winning that game, I guess. But you mentioned Russell Westbrook. I thought he looked pretty drunk trying to finish around the rim. But on the other side, he was really awesome distributing the ball, had 8 assists in just 18 minutes. And guys, I have to tell you something which is pretty a pretty hot take. I think he's equally good of a distributor as Nikola Jokic is, actually. Some of his passes were just looking like surefire turnovers, and no, they were just on point all the time. Kyle, what was your biggest takeaway from the game?
Well, yeah, I got to admit my attention wandered a little bit in the second half there, especially as the game went on. I don't think that there was as much to really take away from it, but especially in the first half, actually, my big takeaway was about a guy we all know really well at this point, Michael Porter Jr. I thought Michael Porter Jr. looked really good, especially playing inside on the offensive end. I was really impressed with him, actually. I liked his energy and liked what I saw him doing on the inside. So I was really impressed with that. Obviously, the biggest things to watch were Russell Westbrook. I agree that I thought he looked pretty good. Yeah, he struggles to finish around the rim. Nothing new there. But when he gets inside and dishes it out, and the thing about that is you still have to defend him around the rim. You know, even knowing that he struggles to finish, it's not like you can just give him a clear path to the rim. You still got to defend him. So that still draws the defense and it still opens up the offense. And yeah, when he can dish it out, when he can find a lane to dish it out. I think the bench is going to be exciting to watch for sure this year. And then Christian Brown, obviously excited to watch Christian Brown with the starters, the new look starters. And he looked really good, especially on the defensive end, I thought. But his energy on offense was good. He had one really impressive rebound in that early going. And so just excited to see, excited that for as much stability as the Nuggets have, they also have a lot of things that are new and are going to be exciting to watch, especially in the early part of the season. So that was fun. I loved watching the game yesterday. I was fortunate enough to work from home and I could watch it yesterday, and excited to watch another one bright and early tomorrow morning.
Yes, even an earlier game than the last one. Ray, what was your biggest takeaway from the game?
I'll be brief, but I have two. The first is that I think we'll see more Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray playing together than I had anticipated and or hoped for. The other is that I think Zeke's shot looks better. You know, I have some hope for Zeke Nagy.
Okay. I appreciate your hope. I really do, because you know what, guys? Zeke is our 5th highest paid player on the team, and he's supposed to look good, if not for anything else, to be a valuable trade asset at the very least. So I do think that Michael Malone needs to find a way to engage Zeke and make him feel better on Nuggets roster. So, and I guess being like a 12th or 13th guy in the rotation yesterday wasn't a super encouraging thing. But you know what? The rotation might be completely different in game number 2, especially in the second half. So we will see. We will see the way it looks. For me, the biggest impression from the jump on this game was Aaron Gordon shooting everything in sight. He had I believe 7 or 8 field goal attempts in the first quarter. Then some of them looked pretty ill-advised, like he was trying to show off his new shooting technique. That might be much better this season, but it didn't look that great. Yesterday, he finished with 3 of 10 shooting. He was initiating the offense a lot, and I like it. I like him being so engaged. But on the other hand, when you have also Nikola Jokic, who is initiating a lot of stuff, of course, on the offense. That was the reason why Jamal Murray was pretty invisible in this game. Tatiana, how did Jamal look to you, and would you like to see him take reins from Aaron Gordon going forward?
Yeah, I think he just looked very relaxed. Like if it's a preseason game, of course, he didn't really have so much urgency, I feel like, or the need to show off. But I feel like we do need to see one of those games from him just to be sure, like, hey, he's obviously still Jamal Murray, but like he's gotten better, or let's see where he's at. But yeah, I think he was very, very chill during this past game. So hopefully we get to see him tomorrow be a little bit more aggressive and be like himself. So yeah, same with Aaron Gordon. I thought he was acting the same, like very, very chill.
Kyle, do you have something more on Jamal?
Yeah, I think Tatiana's right. Hard to take too much away from a preseason game. I thought there was definitely big preseason energy from both teams in this game. But yeah, Jamal, I just thought those first two Jamal shots were like the Jamal experience. If I remember right, the first one was like a baseline three, like a corner three that looked beautiful. And then the next one was an airballed three from closer to the top. So that, that's kind of the experience. And you hope that you see something a little bit more consistent as you get ramped up. But I'm just not going to read too much into a overseas, especially preseason game, which is just a really unusual circumstance. So, again, not going to take too much away from that. But, we've had a lot of things that you try to say that about, that you don't take too much away from. I don't take too much away from. He was banged up at the end of last season. He was banged up and in a weird situation for Team Canada. He's in these preseason games. And so each one of those things maybe doesn't feel like, oh, it's that big of a piece of evidence into how Jamal's going to look early in the season. But now that as each one accumulates, it gets harder and harder to say that. So, yeah, I hope you see at some point, a more engaged and a more consistent Jamal.
Ray, Russell Westbrook was the first guy off the bench. He replaced Christian Brown and played with 4 starters for a couple of minutes. At that moment, it looked pretty amazing how potent the rebounding of the team was with the quartet of Jokic, Gordon, Porter, and Russell Westbrook. It felt for a second that every rebound is theirs. And then in contrast, we had a bench lineup with Šarić and Vlatko and Hunter Tyson. And there was a segment where they couldn't rebound anything. How do you feel about the balance of rebounding on this new team? Or is just one game too small of a sample to really get some takeaways?
Yeah, I do think it's an interesting thing to keep track of. Part of what I mentioned earlier about Russ and Jamal sharing the floor, I question the spacing sometimes with him and Aaron Gordon on the court at the same time. But the way that I think they can overcome that is by being as dominant on the boards as they were. With the bench, I think Peyton Watson kind of becomes a much more important part of that lineup just for the sake of physicality in that sense. Not that Hunter Tyson can't play or that Vlatko can't play or that Šarić can't play, but I think collectively they can use a little bit more force on the back line there.
Okay, let's take one short break and then we will continue talking about this game for a couple of more minutes. And it is time to talk about flooring. If you need new flooring, you do not need to look further. So many people already enjoy Empire Today floors. Just ask them about their great experience. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats, but they can't beat them on quality, service, or speed, so they use phrases like lowest price in business. That's because they offer low-quality products that Empire Today simply won't carry. Empire Today won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. Empire Today keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles. Their virtual floor designer is a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy, just snap a picture and instantly see how the new floors will look in your room. Shopping for floors in a big box store can be frustrating. You might talk to someone today who was working in plumbing yesterday. Flooring is all Empire Today does. They live and breathe flooring, so you can be confident you're getting honest, upfront advice. They pride themselves in their convenient shop-at-home service. They help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so they can see exactly what their floors will look like in their home's lighting and decor so they can make an informed decision. They service their own warranties. If an issue does arise, just call Empire. You won't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See Empire Today/DNVR for details. Okay, we are back. We are still talking about preseason game number 1 versus the Boston Celtics in Abu Dhabi. And Tatiana, when the game started, it looked like Nikola Jokic is not interested in shooting the ball at all. And at the end, he finished at the team high 14 points. So is it just a regular Nikola Jokic experience for you?
Yes, I feel like that's what he always does. I feel like it takes a little bit for us to see like a very aggressive Jokic from the beginning, but he always ends up with the most points, with the most rebounds and his triple-double. And it's like, how did we get here sometimes? Because he just completely just takes over. But that's just who he is. And like, I don't know, gotta love him for that. But yeah, he did start off a little bit slower and he wasn't interested. And then he did what he does.
So Kyle, you remember that left hook that turned into a right-handed jump shot in the middle of the movement, and it was just butter? Like who does that?
Yeah, someone, I can't remember who posted it, but someone said it was like when you glitch out when you're playing 2K, and it's like, oh, the shot doesn't make any sense and somehow still goes in. Yeah, that's what it looked like. And it's always great when even the Boston Celtics announcers are flabbergasted by it, and they almost sound a little bit mad about it, but also a little awed. So that's always good. That's how you want them to feel, I think. So he's got it. He can turn that switch on, and that when it matters, that's what you're going to see out of him. So
I agree. And Ray, I don't know if you are a Dario Saric guy yet. I am definitely a Dario Saric guy. He had that amazing pass to Vlatko that got blocked under the rim, and he was pretty versatile in his 14 minutes where he finished with +7. Like, what more do you want from your backup center? If your backup center, you don't need to be +7. You just need to be 0. If you're a 0 as a backup center, the Nuggets are winning 60 games.
Yeah, I think Dario and also Vlatko to some extent, although he is kind of working his way back from injury. And I do feel like he was better Friday than he was, I don't know, however many months ago he played. But that versatility, being a complete basketball player, not having giant holes in your game, being able to catch the ball, dribble, pass, shoot, take advantage of mismatches when appropriate, all those things that they don't pop off the page necessarily, but they do make for a much more effective team and a better teammate. So I'm excited to have, honestly, both of them in the front court this year, and I think they'll help a lot with things that Denver struggled with last year.
Yeah, I thought Vlatko looked especially good yesterday. So yeah, I'm really happy to have Vlatko back. You asked what's the one thing that you'd want to see more of from Saric. I want to see rebounding. That you talked about that unit that he was a part of kind of struggled to rebound. So I hope that we'll see, it's just one game. We're not going to, one preseason game, let's not go overboard. But I hope we see better rebounding from him going forward. But I like him. I like his game, and I'm glad we've got him on the team. I think he's going to be a good backup.
Yeah.
Yes. So, guys, now that we have this huge sample of starters playing between 14 and 16 minutes in game 1 of preseason, now I feel we are ready to make our official predictions on how many games the Nuggets are going to win this season and which seed they are going to get with those wins. Now, I'm not going to make you pick both. If you want to pick only one of those two numbers, I'm fine with it. But if you feel super cocky today, you can do both. So, Tatiana, what would be, if you know that the Nuggets won 57 games this last season, which was kind of underwhelming, but at the same time, the most winningest season in Denver Nuggets history in regular season, what would be your expectation based on these 14 to 16 minutes of the starters, as I said?
Yeah, I think because we went through 2 different seasons, season when the championship was won and then the season last season, I think they're going to try and rest more guys towards the end of the season. So I'm taking that into consideration. I think we win probably like 48 games. And I think that's pretty decent because of that reason of us resting guys and getting them ready for playoffs instead of trying to get that number 1 seed and then having the guys be completely gassed after the second round of the playoffs. So I think that's pretty fair. Making that the fact that we're going to be resting Jamal, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and all of our key guys there.
We have 55 from Space Beagle, by the way.
55.
Kyle, what is your number?
Yeah, I think what Cedric just said is right there, that 50 be good. I don't think we're going to be that high. My guess would be 47. So I'd be actually just a little bit lower than Tatiana, but I know when we won 57 games last year, we know what it's going to take to be at the top of the West. That maybe sounds discouraging, but I really don't think it should be viewed that way. And in fact, if I was going to make a prediction I'm more confident in, it's that we're going to have a top 4 seed. I think we're going to do what we need to do to be a 3 seed or a 4 seed at the end of the season. But you've just got some teams in the West that I just think are better built for the regular season, that are a little bit younger, are going to struggle a little less with injury probably and rest and all those things. And again, I think we might be a little shy. Tatiana said it. We might be a little shy to really push based on the experience from last year. Although, I don't know. I mean, I'm not discounting that was part of it, but I think a lot of it was just about the matchups too, and that matchup we ended up with the Wolves and just how those games went. But yeah, I'd say 47 or in that ballpark. But more importantly, I think we're going to try to secure that 3 or 4 seed.
Thank you, Ray. You seem surprised.
I'm an optimist. I'm going to say par would be 50 games for me. I think if they won less than 50 games, that would be disappointing. But I think if everything goes well, and I do think things will go well, I think the bench will be better. I think Jamal will be better in the regular season than he was last year. That they'll be hopefully healthier, particularly because the bench is better and they don't have to play as many minutes and as many games and that sort of thing. 60 games. Let's go.
60.
Yeah, I do think
history. Yeah,
5 to 10 games last year. I think a lot of ran on just the bench not being very good and the starters having to play that much more.
I thought I was gonna zag here, but Ray beat me to it. Here's the thing, guys. I think all of you are extremely right. You have really good view of this situation. I do think that the Nuggets need to find a way to rest their starters more during the season and especially down the stretch. But you know what? I think the Denver Nuggets bench is going to be better this season comparing to the last 3 or 4 seasons. So my guess is that they're going to be able to rest their guys but not playing them in the fourth quarters much more this season comparing to the seasons before. Now, I'm not as optimistic as Ray because they're going to find a way to win 57 again. They're going to be in vicinity of 58 for a long time, and they will just not do it. just so I can be frustrated by that. But yeah, I actually think 57 is something they can do this season. And by the way, that still probably will not be enough for number 1 seed.
I was just about to ask that. Do you think that then that they're going to be the top seed? So, Miro, you're saying no, that you think that they are going to hit 57, but that's not going to be enough for number
Yeah,
one.
I think Oklahoma can get 60 this season. They have a really deep roster, the really young roster. Although the new rules that will implement more physicality on defense might make a dent in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's game a bit. So, but I don't think it's gonna be that dire for him in the regular season. Then I expect another jump in physicality in playoffs. So this is why I'm probably the lowest out of everybody I know on the Thunder's chances this season. I'm so confident in them not moving past second round this season, even though they're considered to be the best team in the West right now. I just think that the Nuggets are a team with much more experience and honestly more top quality at the top than the Thunder when it all counts. So Tatiana, you didn't tell us about the seeding. Do you want to go there as well?
Yeah,
With
I
48
agree.
wins?
Yes, I think we'll be top 4. When it's all said and done, I don't know where in that top 4. I don't think the first seed at all, but I do think like second, third, or fourth. I think I can't put my finger on which one, but yeah.
It's honestly possible if like the Timberwolves get like 63 wins and then I don't know, maybe no, sorry, the Thunder 63 and like Timberwolves like 60, then you need to drop the other teams to lower numbers. So I actually think that's a possible outcome. So at the end, do we feel confident in the Nuggets getting out of West this season? Tatiana, let's start with you.
I do. I just feel like there's a different vibe in the team this season. And I feel like there's someone new that is very hungry for a ring. And his job, he said, is to push Jamal to be his best. So once we have Jamal being his best, and of course we can always count on Jokic being the best, I am very confident in whoever we face that we can definitely come out of the West.
Kyle?
Yeah, I think our biggest matchup issue in the West was the Wolves, and I think that matchup just got a whole lot better with the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident about the Denver Nuggets being in the Western Conference Final. I'm more confident in their postseason ability than I am in their regular season ability. So, yeah, I'm confident in them being in the Western Conference Finals, and I'd pick them to come out of the West for sure.
So, Ray, I know you're an optimist and you expect the Nuggets to get out of the West, but who do you see as the biggest threat for them in the
Themselves.
Western Conference bracket?
It's honestly themselves.
That's a good answer.
Like, I really believe them in beating any team if they're focused, motivated, and healthy. So I would say those three things. But to answer the question more genuinely, if there's a team, I would have to say probably Dallas. I think Dallas is one of those teams that it's not even to say that they might not lose to Dallas, but that's a team you might run into in an earlier round that takes more out of you than you think. And maybe by the time you do get to the conference finals, by the time you do get to the finals, you don't have as much as the tank as you wish you did.
Dallas is actually a great pick. I agree with that. And a lot of people think that they got a much better roster comparing to last season. I'm not sure about that, but I am sure that Luka is going to take another step forward. He's just so young still, like 25, 26 now. So I really expect him to be even better next season. And he's already in the same stratosphere as Nikola Jokic. So that's going to be a big thing going forward. I'm sure of that. Okay, let's take one more short break. And after that, let's do the game show. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
Okay, we are back, and we are turning on the all reliable presentation. So we're gonna start with a tiebreaker game per usual, just to make everybody lose. And the tiebreaker game doesn't count for anything unless there is more than one person at the end of the show with the most points won. In that case, tiebreaker game is gonna decide the winner. So, Tatiana, you will start our tiebreaker game. It is going to be a pretty tough snake draft of. Let me basketball reference that for you. Same as last week, I typed in a name in the basketball reference search bar, and I'm gonna ask you to try to get the first 10 names that appear on the list when I type that name. I believe that basketball reference sorts these guys by the total number of win shares, which means that guys who played well for a long time in the NBA are going to appear on this list high. So that's all I can tell you. And I will tell you that the name I typed in the search bar was Nick, Nick. Now, mind that the person that's going to appear on this list his first name might be Nick. Nick could also be a part of a longer first name, and it also can be a part of a last name as well. So just keep that in mind as well. And that's all the help I'm going to give you guys. So, Tatiana, what's going to be your first pick? Who is the Nick on this list?
I'm going to go with Nick Young. I have no idea.
Nick Young is excellent. Is an excellent guess. He is number 4 on this list, which means you are getting 7 points here. Nick Young played for 11 seasons, and he is number 4 on the list. Kyle, who is your first pick?
Why do I do this to myself? I come on this show, I make myself look like an idiot on these games. They're killer, man. Okay, I'm going to guess Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a great guess as well. Number 6 on this list, Kyle. So you are going to get 5 points here. Nickeil Alexander-Walker just started his career 4 years ago, but he's already the 6th best Nick in NBA history. Ray, what is your first pick?
Nick Collison, because O before L, not Nick Claxton, Nick Collison.
Nick Collison is number 3 on the list. 8 points for Ray. Yes, he played for 13 seasons in the NBA, so he accumulated enough win shares to be number 3 on this list. And since we are doing the snake draft, Ray, you get another guess now.
I will go. Is Nick Claxton on the list?
Nick Claxton is not on the list.
Okay.
We are back to Kyle.
I'm going to guess, I don't know if how the spelling thing here works, but I'm going to guess Nick Batum.
The spelling is important. If there is no K in the name, I'm going to give you a pass here and try to do another name.
Oh man,
so
I'm not sure I've got another one queued up. That was the only one I was thinking of, Nick Batum. I kind of locked in on that.
You can pass and wait for your third round.
Yeah, I'll pass. I don't have someone in mind. I'll keep thinking about it. I'll put Tatiana on the spot.
Okay, Tatiana, do you have a Nick for me?
I honestly don't know if this is even a person that's active, but Nick Richards, is that?
That is correct. Nick Richards is number 7 on the list. So you are getting 4 more points, Tatiana, and you are in the lead now.
Yay.
And you get 1 more pick.
Is Nick Edwards, is that one too? I feel like I've heard that name.
He is not on the list.
Okay.
You finish this game with 11 points. Kyle, your last pick.
I've got no one. I don't even have a guess. I have no idea. I'm stuck.
Fair.
I'm stumped.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. It's getting harder now. Ray, do you have a name? Last pick of the game.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
Okay, Tatiana is the winner of our tiebreaker, and this is the whole list, guys. So at number
Interesting.
1, Denver Nuggets legend Nick Van Exel. Number 1 by a mile, I think. Number 2, Nick Anderson. You've guessed Nick Collison, Nick Young as well. Now at number 5, Nick Weatherspoon. I've never heard of this guy. He played in the 70s. Nick Alexander Walker, Nick Richards. We got those guys. Carl Nicks played in the 80s. I don't know. Nick Jones played in the 60s. And then my favorite, Nick Galides, who is a EuroLeague legend, but only played in the NBA for 1 season, but still enough to be the 10th best Nick in the history of the NBA. Okay. Congrats to Tatiana for winning the tiebreaker. It might be decisive at the end of the show. And also, what gets you will start game number 1. Game number 1 is snake drafting players with the most games with 0 2-point attempts and at least 3 3-point attempts in a game for the Denver Nuggets since 2015-2016 season, regular season, and playoffs combined. So I'm looking for guys who were chucking from 3, but never even tried to shoot from inside the arc. So guys with the most games of this nature. And here are the 12 guys with the most games like this. In the alphabetical order: Malik Beasley, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Facundo Campazzo, Torrey Craig, Juancho Hernangomez, Justin Holiday, Marcus Howard, Bones Highland, Mike Miller, Michael Porter Jr., Davon Reed, and Austin Rivers. So, Tatiana, who would be your first guess? Who had the most such games?
I'm gonna say Bones Highland because I rarely remember him like going to the basket and like dunking it or something like that. I do remember his very loud threes, so I'm gonna go with Bones Highland.
Bones Highland is sharing the last place on this list, but since there are 4 guys with the same name, with the same number of games, you are still getting 4 points for this guess, Tatiana. Yes, I was a bit surprised in this, but if you think about it, Bones was shooting a lot. He was letting it fly from all around the court. I agree, mostly from the 3-point line, but some obviously some 2-pointers get in there as well. He only had 2 such games with at least 3-point attempts and 0 2-point attempts. We are mixing it up now. Ray will be the second. Ray, what is your guess?
I'm going to go with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 6 such games, and that is the 6th most on this list. So you are going 7 points here, Ray, for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Kyle, what is your guess?
It's most total games like this, right?
Yes, most total games with at least 3 3-pointers attempted and 0 2-pointers attempted.
I think I'm going to go Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. also sounds like a smart guess. And you know what? These 12 guys are all top 12. So there are no bad answers. But Michael Porter also only had 2 such games. So that's 4 points.
Shoot some 2s, Kyle. But early on in his career, especially, and given his longevity, the amount of time he's been with Denver.
Yeah, both of these games happened in his first 2 seasons on the Nuggets, in his rookie season, his sophomore season. So, Kyle, you get another guess now because the snake is now turning its...
I'm going to go with a player I don't remember shooting a lot of 2s. I'm going to go with Malik Beasley.
That's a good
Malik Beasley? Malik Beasley is another guy with only 2 such games, so 4 more points for you, Kyle. Yeah,
brutal.
Just 2 games in 2018 and 2019 seasons. We are back to Ray. Ray, what is your guess now?
I'm going to go with Juancho Hernan-Gomez.
Excellent guess. Juancho Gomez has 12 such games. So that's number 2 on the list, 11 points for Ray. Wow. 12 such games
Hot start.
in his relatively short stint. Well, not that short, 4 seasons on the Nuggets. We are back to Tatiana.
I'm gonna pick Facundo Campasso.
Yes, that is the top pick. 16 such games. Facu couldn't get inside that often. So, yes, he had 16 such games in only 2 seasons. On the Nuggets, 12 points for Tatiana here. And Tatiana has her second consecutive pick now.
I'm gonna go with Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers is a good guess. 5 such games. So he is 7th on the list. So that's 6 points for you, Tatiana. Great guess. We are back to Ray. So, Ray, you still can guess number 3, number 4, number 5.
I'm going to go with Marcus Howard.
Marcus Howard. You did it. You found the 4th guy with the least such games.
Oh,
just 2 games.
Wow.
From
Okay.
Marcus Howard. Sorry. This was
That's
mean.
fine.
This was mean. But yeah, Marcus Howard only had 2 such games, both in that one season he played for the Nuggets, 2021, 2022. Kyle, 2 picks for you now.
I'm going to go Torrey Craig.
Torrey Craig is number 3 on the list. He shares number 3 on the list with the 7 such games. So that's 10 points for you, Kyle. Very good. Another guess from you?
I'm going to say I'll take Mike Miller.
Mike Miller is another guy with 7 such games. So very strong showing from you late in the game. Another.
I'm trying to rally. I'm trying to rally here. If you'd asked us to name these guys, I never would have named either one of those guys. I don't think trying to come up with this. So that's
so many future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Look at Facu and Torrey Craig and Marcus Howard and Davon Reed, Austin Rivers. Yeah, we're back to Ray. Just 2 more names left. Do you need help?
So I'm going to say he was here longer. So Davon Reed?
Davon Reed is number 8 on this list. He had 4 such games. That will be 5 points for you, Ray. So Tatiana now gets the last pick forced on her because there are no other picks. Justin Holiday will give you 10 points because he is also number 3 on this list with 7 such games. So Tatiana, another 10 points for you. So Tatiana has 22 and 4. That's 26. Remember your number, 26. Kyle has 22. No. 28 and another 32 points for Tatiana. I'm sorry, Tatiana. 32 for you.
32.
Kyle has 28. And Ray has 18, 23, 27. So Tatiana wins game number 1. Congrats. Yeah,
Thank you.
Swift fashion, Tatiana is the winner of game 1. And also,
Tatiana's wiping the floor with us today.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm just getting lucky.
I need to remind you guys, if you haven't watched the last show from last week, the last game carries a total of 9 possible points. So it's good to get these early wins, early points on your tally. But the last game is most probably going to decide the champion of this show. So let's do one more short break. And after that, we will have the last 2 games that will determine the champion and the second semifinalist of this season's game show. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back, and of course, I forgot to show you the full list of guys with 3 3-pointers attempted at least and 0 2-pointers. So Facu Campazzo and Juancho Hernan Gomez dominating the list here. Mike Miller, interestingly enough, for a very short time, very few number of games, also high on this list. So game number 2 will be started with Tatiana again as the champion of game number 1. And game number 2 is called Snake Drafting Nuggets Players with the longest streak of games with at least one free throw attempted in a game since 2015, 2016, regular season and playoffs combined. So which players attempted at least one free throw in the longest streak of games in these last 9 seasons? So I'm gonna give you 12 guys again who are on the top of this list alphabetically, of course. So Will Barton, DeMarcus Cousins, what? He only played for like 15 games. Kenneth Faried, Danilo Gallinari, Aaron Gordon, Gary Harris, Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap, Emmanuel Mudiay, Jamal Murray, Yusuf Nurkic, and Michael Porter Jr. So Tatiana, who do you think had the longest streak of games with at least one free throw attempted?
I'm just gonna start with saying Nikola Jokic.
That is, of course, a very safe and very correct guess. 86 games in a row Nikola Jokic had with at least one free throw attempted. It happened from December 2021 to October 2021 to November 2022. So more than one full year, calendar year of games, 86 straight games. We are now back to Kyle. Kyle, what is your guess? Who had the longest streak?
Since I don't get to say Nikola Jokic, I think I'm going to say I'll go with another center who I imagine got put at the line quite a bit. I'll go with Yusuf Nurkic.
Yusuf Nurkic is an interesting choice, I have to say. He only had 14 such games in a row, and he is tied for number 9 on this list. So you are getting 4 points here, Kyle. Ray, what is your guess?
I'm going to say Will Barton.
Will Barton is number 6 on this list with 23 such games. Ray, that will be 7 points for you, and you get another guess now.
I'm going to take another one. I will say Danilo Gallinari.
That is number 2 on the list. Danilo Gallinari.
Thank God.
58 straight games for Gallo. Of course, Rooster was going to the basket. 58 straight games, 11 points for you, Ray. We are back to Kyle.
I think I'm going to go with Jamal Murray.
Yes, that's a very safe guess. 31 such games for Jamal. So, Kyle, you get 10 points here. Tatiana.
I'm gonna go with Gary Harris.
Gary Harris is number 7 on this list with 17 such games. So that will be 6 points for you, Tatiana. And you get another guess.
I'm gonna guess MPJ.
MPJ, interesting. He is also tied for number 9 on this list with 14 such with a streak of 14 games. So that's 4 points for you. We are back with Kyle.
I'm actually going to go. God, I'm kind of torn between a couple here. I'm going to go Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap is number 5 on the list with 24 streak of 24 games. So that will be 8 points for you, Kyle. And we are now going to Ray. 2 guesses for Ray.
Okay. I will take Aaron Gordon and Kenneth Faried.
Aaron Gordon is number 4 on the list with 30 streak of 30 games. So Ray, that will be 9 points for you. And Kenneth Farid is the best available answer. So he had a streak of 15 such games. That will be 5 points for you, Ray. Back to Kyle.
We've only got 2 left. Am I right, Cousins?
Yes.
Moutier? I'm going to go with Emmanuel Moutier.
Emmanuel Moutier is the last guy on this list with only the streak of only 13 games. So that's 1 point for you, Kyle, which means that Tatiana is getting 4 points for DeMarcus Cousins.
Wow.
I'm telling you guys, I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't think he had much more than these 14 games on the Nuggets. I'm pretty sure he had a free throw in every... Well, I guess in every game he wasn't ejected in the first quarter.
Yeah, or games he missed due to injury. I'm shocked that he can make a list like this. Yeah. And then he's ahead of a bunch of other guys I picked. So
that is true. So let's try to figure out the points again. Tatiana has 18 and another 8. That makes 26. Ray has 20, 27, 32 for Ray. And Kyle has 18, 22, 23. So I think Kyle gets game number 2. Am I right? Did I mess that up?
We can't see the numbers. We're trusting your
Wait.
math.
Yeah.
So.
I just
tell
hope
us.
you remember your numbers, but I think Kyle won this. No,
Mine was definitely not the
Wait.
biggest number that you said
Oh,
there, unless
Jesus.
you
You
read
want the
them in
low?
reverse
Are we
order.
playing golf for
no, we're not playing golf. Let's do it again. Tatiana had 12, 18, 26. Kyle had 18, another 5, 23. Yeah, you're right. And Ray had 11, 18, 23, and then another 7, 30 points. Ray is the winner. I was really close of messing up. You guys need to be less polite. You need to tell me when I'm completely wrong, because it's 11 p.m. in Serbia, so cut me some slack. I might be completely insane right now. So congrats to Ray. Now Tatiana has 1 point. Ray has 1 point. Tatiana also has a tiebreaker in case it is needed. So let's just go into game number 3. This is the whole list, by the way. Nikola Jokic running away with it with the Danilo Gallinari at number 2. So game number 3, Ray will start it, and the game is called, of course, Can I Have Your Full Name, Sir/Madam? So for anybody watching the show for the first time, just a quick explanation. It's a name mashup game where I pick 2 persons in which the first person's last name mashes up nicely with the first name of the second person. And then I ask you for the full name that consists of first name of first person, and then the mashup name in the middle, and then the last name of the second person. You all played the game. So Ray, here are your clues. Clue number 1. The first person is a former NBA player born in 1996. The second person is an NBA player born in 2000. So a rare case of 2 NBA players in a mashup. So we have a former NBA player who is a year younger than Nikola Jokic, and then a current NBA player born 5 years after Nikola Jokic. Does that ring any bells?
Not yet.
Of course not. Tatiana.
No, I'm gonna pass.
Kyle?
Do you know how bad it feels to hear former NBA player born in 1996? That makes me feel incredibly old.
Yeah, but
not that old. That guy's not
listen,
old. Okay.
1996 is young.
Yeah,
It just says that this guy wasn't good enough to play
Sure.
in the NBA for longer.
Well, regardless, I do not have a guess here. That's I'm clueless still.
Okay, so right now we only have 8 available points in this game because 3 points in the first combination is off the table. Ray, clue number 2 for 2 points. The first person was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but played high school basketball in Texas. The second person played in Illinois for 3 seasons before being drafted by the Chicago Bulls. So a homegrown guy. And first guy born in Democratic Republic of Congo, but played high school basketball in Texas.
That's tough. It's going to take me some time to think, so I'm going to pass for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving away points just like that, so of course it's going to be tough. Tatiana, any ideas?
I think I know the second person, but I have no idea on the first person.
Okay, that's fair. Kyle?
Oh, I feel the exact opposite. I know the first person for sure. I don't know the second person, I don't think.
Yeah, I need to figure out tag teams for this game,
Yeah,
because this is a very usual situation.
Yeah, I think I feel pretty good about who the first person is. But yeah, I'm stuck, I think, on that second person.
We might
So
get
I'm gonna reluctantly pass for now, but I'm not feeling very good about the chance to guess again, knowing that Tatiana already knows who the second person
No,
is.
I have no idea on the first person, like 0.
I think it's gonna come to you. I feel very confident it's gonna come to you.
So, yeah, I'm gonna just run wild next season, and let's just have like 6 people in every show. So we'll have 50 Nuggets fans playing the game show during the summer, because there's not a lot of smarter things to do during the summer. Okay, Ray, clue number 3, hopefully the easiest of them all. The first person decided, to forego college and play overseas in China before being drafted by the Nuggets as a 7th overall pick in 2015. The second person has a 3-letter first name, and all 3 letters are vowels.
All 3 letters are vowels.
Kyle has it.
Well, you wrote that English major ass question, so you know.
That's true. I have to say, all of these questions were written like 6 weeks ago, when I had no idea who's going to be the guest. So,
Is it Emmanuel Mudasumu?
Yes, that is correct. Emmanuel Mudiayodusumu is correct. First point for Ray in this show. So right now we have Tatiana with 1 point and Ray with 2 points. And we are going now to Tatiana with combination number 2. The first person is a former NBA player born in 1990. The second person is not a person, it is a modern profession. Yeah, these are getting more wild every week.
The second person is not a person, it is a modern profession.
Yes.
I am going to pass. I have no idea.
Kyle?
If somebody gets it here, it means they're psychic or they've got some sort of, extrasensory perception. No, it's not me. I have no guess.
I believe only Voya got it once in the first clue, if I remember correctly, for the whole duration of game show. So it's usually a very tough clue. Ray?
I have some options for the second, but I'm going to pass for now.
Okay, Tatiana. Clue number 2. The first person was a 4 times All-Star, and his last NBA team was the Denver Nuggets. The second person is not a person, but a modern profession that turns simple social network users with a large following into professionals. So the first guy is a 4 times All-Star that ended his NBA career on the Denver Nuggets and was born in 1990. The second is a modern profession that turns simple social network users with large following into professionals?
I'm going to pass. I feel like everyone knows it, but I have no idea.
Not sure everybody knows it. Kyle.
No, I do. No, I'm not. I'm not sitting here knowing this one. I don't think. Yeah, no, I'm still stuck. I'm gonna pass. I'm still stuck on this one.
Ray?
I have a theory, but I feel close enough that
You
I'm gonna
could get
pass
2
for
points
now.
now, Ray. You could get 2 points if you know the combination or have a clue.
I'm gonna. I'll let it go. It'll be back.
Okay. Oh, you feel confident it's going to get back. Okay, Tatiana, the last clue. The first person spent the biggest part of his NBA career on the Sacramento Kings, where one of his coaches was Michael Malone. The second person is not a person, but a modern profession that sells influence on Instagram to brand owners.
The second person is not a person, but a modern profession that sells influence on Instagram to brand owners.
Yes.
I don't know that. Like, I think I know the first. The second, I'm so stuck on. That sells influence on Instagram to brand owners. Yeah, no, I'm going to pass.
Kyle.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I just do not know. I think the name of the profession that you're looking for. I'm going to guess because I think we all know who the first one is. So there's no reason not to at this point. I'm going to guess
Okay.
DeMarcus Cousins-fluencer.
Very close. Very close. I could almost give you a point for that, but no.
Not close.
Ray.
Yeah.
It's close. It is close.
That's
Ray.
even more confusing. Okay, so the second person is not a person. It's not a person. It's a modern profession. It's a modern profession that turns a simple social network users into large following into professionals.
That sells influence on Instagram to brand owners.
Hmm. DeMarcus Cousin Networker.
Kyle was closer. The correct answer is DeMarcus Cousins' Instagram model.
I never would have gotten that.
The only reason I did not accept influencer is because it doesn't connect with cousins properly.
It doesn't quite work. I wasn't thinking
it
like
has
that
an extra letter.
platform specific, how platform specific it had to be. So
You know, because
I don't know that was a
it
profession.
just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Yeah, it's a modern profession, I guess. Okay, so the last combination is gonna go to Kyle now, and there are still 3 points in the mix. Kyle, the first person is a former NBA player born in 1989. The second person is an actor born in 1961.
okay. All right. Well, as per usual, I'd love to equal Voya's accomplishment and nail it on the first one, but I don't think I've got it here. So I'm going to pass it along.
Ray?
No, I'm going to pass.
Tatiana?
Same for me. I'm going to pass.
Okay, so right now we have Tatiana with 1 point, Ray with 2 points, Kyle has no points, but there are still 2 points in play. So Kyle, clue number 2. The first person won a gold medal in the FIBA World Cup in 2014. The second person was a regular cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1980 to 1984.
I'm going to pass. I know I have to get it here to get to be in it, but man, I don't have it. I wish I did.
Ray?
I'm also going to pass. I just have no idea. I also don't watch SNL. I'm sorry.
You did not watch NSL from 1980 to 1984? Okay.
Or any year, really. But yeah, especially that year.
Tatiana?
I'm the same with Ray. I have no idea. I'm going to pass.
Okay. Last clue. The first person was on the Grand Rapids Gold in 2021-2022. The second person is a comedy superstar known for his roles on the Beverly Hills Cop, The Nutty Professor, and Coming to America. So who is that player born in 1989 that won FIBA World Cup in 2014, but was on the Grand Rapids Gold in 2021-2022?
Yeah, I know this is me, right? But there's this Tatiana. Whose is this?
It's you, Kyle.
It is me. Okay. Well, I obviously know the Saturday Night Live guy, but I'm not sure I know the player for the gold. Nope. I don't have it. I know the second one, but I don't know the player.
Ray?
I know the actor. That's the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
Who was on the gold? You're going to tell us, and then I'm going to be like, oh, of course, it was them.
I'm not sure you're going to say, of course. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to pass.
Tatiana?
I don't have it.
No, I have zero idea on these two people.
It's fair. This one was hard. The first piece was hard because the clues were pretty murky for the first person. The correct answer is Kenneth Farid Eddie Murphy. Kenneth Farid went from world champion in 2014 to somebody who ended his NBA career in 2020, then tried again in the G League in 2022.
Those were tough clues for
Yeah,
for sure.
But I do know those facts.
Yeah. I always found interesting that Kenneth Farid was a Team US member in 2014. But you know what? There were some other interesting guys back then, like Mason Plumlee, for instance. So it was an interesting squad. Kenneth Farid, by the way, played significant minutes on that Team USA team, led by Kevin Durant, who made 1 million points. So congrats to Ray, who is our winner today with 2 points.
Yo.
He was a lucky loser that proved he is not a loser at all. He's going to be our second finalist, joining Andy Jouet, who won last week. So, Ray, we will see you again in the grand finale episode in 2 weeks, just one day before the first Nuggets game of the regular season, if you believe me.
Amazing.
So,
I can't believe it's here.
Yeah, Andy Jouet had a Jouet sweep last week. So, Ray, I suggest you go on Basketball Reference and build up for that meeting. Okay,
I will.
Guys, any closing thoughts or something to plug before we go?
I came into the playoffs and I didn't perform. I know how the Lakers feel now. Shouts out to Cedric for supporting me in the chat. I feel like I'll let him down.
By the way, I saw that the Lakers are feeling really well under JJ Redick. I saw a Lakers fan from Croatia who is a good friend of mine who said that the Lakers played more more meaningful minutes in this one game comparing to whole of the last season under Darvin Ham. Yeah, we'll see.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Tatiana, any closing thoughts?
No, just thank you so much for having us. It was very fun.
Thank you, Ray. Do you plan another show soon?
Yeah, just honored to be here. Honored to be in the playoffs. I'm glad I can redeem myself. And yeah, just various things. You can find me on Twitter at Rayvon Hackshaw. And our show at Four Corner, just look up Four Corners, you'll find us. So we should have a show going into the kind of before the next first game of the season.
Excellent. So that is all I've prepared for you this week, my dear listener. Please, and I cannot emphasize this enough, take the word prepared very loosely. Be well, be safe, be kind to everybody, call your mom, and until next week, Keita Bates Diop.